Good day, traders. 1 minute mindset reset. One of my favorite quotes by Livermore is, "The game taught me the game, and it didn't spare me the rod." So one of the things I talk about each day is getting 1% better every single day and learning something new every single day, not only about yourself, but your trading, your trade setups, what you do well, what you could do better, what you need to improve upon, how you could have executed better. Maybe you could have got more out of a winner. Maybe you could have cut a loser sooner. Maybe you could have gotten a better instrument or a better setup. But Livermore talks about this in his book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. And if you haven't read that book, you should have it in your library. It's almost 100 years old. But Livermore, if you don't know much about him, was probably one of the greatest speculators of all time. And the game itself is never going to change. I know people think there's these new concepts and new ideas and all these other things happening in the markets, but essentially the markets are the same. The same things happen over and over again. And the ultimate name of the game is to shift the money from the many to the few. And in order to do that, the market needs to trap traders on the wrong sides of the market, whether that's short term, medium term, or long term. And one of the ways that you need to manage yourself in the markets is to focus on only your highest probability opportunities. So we've talked about all of this. There's an illusion out there amongst the retail crowd that once you figure it out, that it's all smooth sailing. And I talked about this yesterday in terms of managing yourself, managing your emotions. My number one strategy for managing myself is, after I have a winning trade or a couple of trades, is I shut it down and walk away from the screen. My window is about an hour a day in terms of active trading. And, I find that for myself, trading longer, going to the screen prior to that time, getting in front of news, or trading after a market's been moving and trying to continue trading, have all been recipes for disaster for me. Those have all been situations that ended badly and recurringly. I did that over and over again. So when I talk about triggers, that's one of the ways that I've strategized to protect myself, protect my winnings, to limit my damage in terms of undoing all the good things that I would do. So I talk about on the weekends, everybody gets back to basics. They study hard, they back test, they go through their strategy, and they say this week's going to be different. And then once Monday opens, the hour of the dog and the wolf kicks in, and everything changes and goes out the window. So there are certain things that need to be learned and hardwired only by yourself in live market conditions, which is why I talk about if you're not consistent, if you don't have your edge down, if you haven't fine-tuned your skill set and performance in live time, then you shouldn't be trading with real money. Do not trade with real money. Protect yourself. Ultimately, you're going to need to trade with real money to know how you really can trade in live time. Because as much as you think that using a demo and everything else will help you, until you have financial capital in the markets, your emotional component isn't there, and that's where you'll come unstuck. When there's no skin in the game, anybody can take trades. But when you have skin in the game, and it's, as I've said, you should never be trading with capital that you cannot afford to lose, ever. So if you're developing your skill set in live time, you need to back test everything as it would be in real time, based on how you will think emotionally in terms of stress, managing stress in a live trade, knowing how you'll scale in. I never go full size into any trade, ever. The only time I add in is when my trades are about to accelerate. So my first entry is always a starter. I never go in full size. I will take money off the table as it's blowing off into profit, and I will leave positions in the market in a profitable trade, but I will take large portions of that out and lock it into my account. These are all little things that I've had to determine about my own skill set, my own mindset, my psychology, what my objectives are out of the market, and ultimately it is to make money and keep it, not give it back. So as Jesse Livermore said, the game taught me the game and it didn't spare me the rod. And I've talked about this. I have done everything wrong and I have suffered immensely in the past over mistakes that I've made. So these are things that I never, ever, ever want to revisit in my life. And ultimately you're going to make mistakes, but you need to make small ones. And when you make your successes, make them big ones. Make your mistakes very small and insignificant, and make your successes huge and impactful, and then keep fine-tuning them and working on the things that work for you. Keep working on the things that are rewarding you and paying back on all the effort and in time and intensity that you've put into developing your skills. The markets are never going to go away. They're always going to be here. But the game didn't. Any successful trader, I don't care who you look up, they will have horror story after horror story. But the game taught them the game, and it didn't spare them the rod. Anybody who has been spared the rod it's inevitable they will have a disaster ahead of them. So if you're feeling frustrated or you're feeling elated, one thing another mentor taught me is no matter what, you don't get elated or depressed. You keep getting better and trading one trade after another. Every trade is just another trade. And if you put more emphasis on any one particular trade more than another, regardless of your performance or anything else, that is where the door to blowing yourself up can open. So hopefully you got value from today's video, traders. We have another day of major red news. Friday, again, ending into the week, nearing the end of the month. Could be a very impactful news release. No idea. We have to trade it as it comes. Congratulations to the traders who nailed some of the trade setups today. Euro yen, pound yen. Yen, high of the week. Some of the other ones didn't play out quite as planned, but that means, again, coming into the end of the week, we could see some big movements going into the close. So enjoy your day. Keep it simple. Focus on 1% better every single day. And may the markets go with you.